Hey there, Wranglers. Welcome back. And today we're talking about why so many people are afraid of clowns. And we're going to discuss that. And I'm hopefully going to shed some insight, scientific insight or psychological insight on this. First of all, I got my slides going here. We all recognize this guy. This is Oscar winner Heath Ledger, post mortem or post whatever. He got the Oscar after he died for his portrayal in Dark Knight. And he set the bar so high for portrayals of the Joker at that time that people were afraid no one would be able to play the character again. And in many cases, that's true, except for one we'll get it into in a little bit. But why are we afraid? Okay, let's look at him for a minute. Um, we all see him as a badass, and he's got his war paint on that he put on himself, and he uses the red to cover his scars on his mouth, and it darkens his eyes. So we see that, and he's holding his Joker card, and but he's still scary. He's not the scariest clown in the world, but he's one of them. A lot of times we find ourselves identifying with him in his whatever it is, his crusade against Gotham, anti-capitalistic crusade. This is Joker from the Batman cartoons, very sinister. And he has a lot of the same qualities: the dark eyes, the red mouth, the grin, which we're going to talk about in a second. And this was voiced by Mark Hamill of Star Wars fame. Mark Hamill did a great job voicing him, and he did it for 25 years or more. And this is going to bring us to one of the reasons that we think we're afraid of clowns is a clown head, no matter how nice it is basically a skull with a rictus grin. The rictus grin is when, the gum is pulled back and you see the teeth of the dead person, and the skull is white and the eyes are sunken. No matter what color you got on him, you've got this background image of the skull, the rictus grin skull, the death of a human right there, a dead human looking at you, or a dead person, is the best way I can describe it. I think that's one of the key psychological points of why we're afraid of clowns. Um, Here's Bozo. He's a very popular clown. He was funny. I don't think anybody was afraid of Bozo. Some people, I'm sure, were because he was just a clown. Now, there's because he was a clown, and some people are afraid of all clowns. Let me tell you something about Bozo. If you look closely at him, none of his face paint has any sharp edges on it. It's all rounded. Okay, and that's a rule that the clowns use today. You can't if you every clown when they go to clown school, and clown school is a real thing. It's not just a joke. They design their own makeup, and when they design it, you're not allowed to have sharp points on it. So they design their makeup. That makeup gets registered in some kind of a clown registry. And I'm not. It sounds fun. Sounds like a joke, but it's not. And that's their clown persona. And Bozo, you can see everything's rounded and friendly on him. A professional clown for 40 years. And I used to watch the Bozo show when I was a kid. I liked it. It's pretty funny. And I was never afraid of Bozo. He was just a nice guy. But one of my nightmares at the same time was of a clown, like one of those hobo clowns. I used to have a reoccurring nightmare about a hobo clown that would come and get you. Here's another picture of Bozo. You can see him a little better, all his rounded edges, his smile. He doesn't look threatening. He looks jolly. He looks funny, and he was. And he engaged with a lot of kids, and a lot of kids loved him. The Bozo show was not something I or anybody I knew dreaded watching. We didn't hide behind the couch whenever Bozo came on. So we've got that going, even though Bozo's makeup is still a type of rictus grin, still a type of corpse paint, if you will. Now, I know all you black metal and death metal people are going to get mad, but yeah, uh, clowns are the first to wear the corpse paint, not you guys. Okay, here's Willard Scott. He was the very first Ronald McDonald. Now, if you look closely, talk about creepy ass clowns. This was the first Ronald McDonald. Okay, this is Willard Scott, and this is him portraying the first Ronald McDonald. I'm glad they changed him because that's freaking weird. He's got the cup on his nose and everything else. That is a scary clown to me. I mean, not intentionally scary or evil. I don't think I'd have nightmares, but it just is like, ugh, it's creepy. But that's Ronald McDonald. That's the origin of Ronald McDonald. That's his first form, as many of you guys will say. Oh, wrong button. Here's Ronald McDonald in his final form. He's still friendly. Look at him. He's not a clown we're afraid of. We have to see him on TV all the time. If people are afraid of him, they wouldn't have him on TV, would they? I mean, people would be protesting and all that kind of thing. But excuse me there, but they're not. Here's Ronald at a car show. I don't know if that's a real Ronald or not, but it might be, might not be. But there he is. He's a friendly looking clown. He's an engaging clown, in spite of the things we talked about before. And here's a beautiful lady clown. She's all smiles, and she's got a big red nose. And just take a closer look at her, and very pleasant looking. Look at those big brown eyes. Oh, I love it. She looks great. Okay. But there's something, even when a clown as pretty as her, there's something lurking in the background. There's something disturbingly familiar about any clown we see. We know what that is. Well, I just talked about. And here's another clown that was infamous. This is John Wayne Gacy. And if you don't know about the John Wayne Gacy case, he basically would trick young men coming over his place. He'd handcuff them and torture them to death, and then stick him under his crawl space. And finally, the smell got so bad, the investigation kicked off. But look at John Wayne Gacy's makeup. What rule is he breaking there that I told you about that clowns use? John Wayne Gacy did not go to clown school. He just made this up on his own. And I think he called this clown Pogo. What is it that he's doing that is wrong? According to our clown schools, our clown studies, just about all his makeup has sharp points on it. That is not something they want to see in a clown. Okay, so this is a clown he made. He's got sharp points on his makeup. Now, I don't know if this is some kind of a psychological clue to who he was or not. I can't speak to that, but it does beg the question, doesn't it? Is the fact that almost all of John Wayne Gacy's makeup with sharp points, which is against the clown rules because they're scary. He designed this himself and made them all sharp. Did he do that on purpose? Did he do that subconsciously? How, I don't know, but it's worth discussing. It's really worth it's kind of an interesting insight to this whole situation. And we've got three clowns here. We've got Art the Clown from Terrifier. We got Pennywise, and we got this fat thing. I don't know what that's from, but Art the Clown wears black and white. Pennywise wears a colorful suit. This other thing has a colorful suit. Again, the rictus grin, the skeletal look is in full play here, especially with Art the Clown. And I reviewed Terrifier 2 in another video I have there. But he is disturbing. He's very disturbing. And I think part of the dichotomy here too is we have the dead face, we have the dead look, but we have like living dress, meaning bright colors and elaborate costumes, basically on something dead. It's almost like you've got the corpse, the skeleton, and it's trying to disguise the fact that it's a skeleton, a dead, dangerous corpse thing by wearing elaborate colors and that sort of thing. It's almost like it's a dichotomy, I guess. It's just sort of, I don't know if it's a trick or not. It's not a trick. Nobody does it on purpose, but it's something that it's an incongruency that we pick up on, is why I think a lot of people are afraid of clowns. It's one of these incongruencies. Now, I'm not personally afraid of clowns. To me, I always kind of liked them. Some of them I thought were boring, but like I loved rodeo clowns. Who doesn't love a rodeo clown? And I loved going to the circus and seeing them do their car tricks and all that. I didn't want them to get close to me. I can tell you that. But I did love them. I did enjoy clowns. Send in the clowns. Where are the clowns? I did like them. Okay. I didn't like, I'm glad I never ran into Art or Pennywise or that other thing, but I did like clowns. Here's another scary ass clown. It's got all the things we talked about. This one's intentionally scary with the sharp teeth and the fangs and all that. It comes to a point where if the clown's trying too hard to be scary, it just turns into a monster. It's not. It almost betrays the psychological impact, the subliminal psychological impact that we might have. Because this just to me doesn't look scary. This, I mean, it would be scary, you know, it is scary, but it loses the thing that makes a clown scary. It just turns into a monster. This might as well be a xenomorph that's scaring us here. Even though a xenomorph kind of had a humus type skull that was elongated, this is just a monster at this point. It's a try hard monster. Okay. Now, slight history of clowns. I'm not getting into it. Clowns used to basically their job was to cavort around the ring in the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus, just getting drunk and being stupid. Literally, you can see this clown here. He's got the sharp makeup, which I don't know. This was back then. This is before we had that. He's got bottles of liquor with him, and he's drinking. And him and his buddies would, cavort around doing stupid crap, being drunk. P.T. Barnum put an end to that and made it more family friendly. And because the clowns, once they started getting drunk, they would be kind of lewd and obscene and stuff like that, almost like a bad court jester. But that's where this is one of the early clown illustrations. Now, this is a mime. To me, mimes are scarier than clowns. Mimes seem to have superpowers, and they didn't talk. They didn't make noise. They just they were almost like a shadow, dressed in black and white. They were like a skeletal shadow of something, maybe like a ghost trapped in another world, because that was part of their gig. Like the invisible wall and all these other tricks they would do. Mimes bother me. Now here's a game. If you can tell me who this mime is, I'm going to mention you in the next video and declare you the winner. The first person to tell me, take a look at this person, this girl. Who is she? Everybody should know who she is, but take a look. Pause the video if you have to. Take a look at her. See if you can figure out who she is. Put it in the comments, and I'm going to sound off with your name in the next video. And maybe even give you some swag if I can do it. That would be great. So anyway, take a look at that. See if you can tell me who she is. And finally, even the ladies can be as beautiful as they are. They can still be creepy and sinister and dark. We've got a female Pennywise here, and she's almost scarier than the boy Pennywise with his big old bald old head. Here we have this beautiful redhead, with this just mad, this almost evil look to her. So these are the reasons I think we're fundamentally afraid of clowns, is because one, the rictus grin. They're a parody of a human skeleton, parody of a human skull, and then the parody of the human skull is dressed in elaborate costumes that they hit an incongruity with the way we think the dead should be presented. Okay, they're vibrant. The costumes are vibrant and alive, but we've got this dead thing underneath them. So for those of you who are all afraid of clowns, I think a lot of this stuff is stacking up in your subconscious and making you afraid of them. And sometimes it's the way they move, the way they act, and all of that kind of thing. And even the points on the makeup are considered scary. And that's why a lot of people who become clowns, you have to go to a clown school, a clown college, if you will, and that's required to perform professionally, because they are trained professionals. They're smart professionals. They're good professionals. It's a chosen thing they've done, and they've worked hard at it to be a regular, legit clown. But then you have the evil ones. So anyway, guys, that was a nice, we did a little bit of clown spotting today. Maybe we'll continue to do some more clown spotting in the future. Anyway, this is a Neon Wrangler. You guys take care, and I'll see you on the next video.